Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are in Lyndoch, in the wonderfully picturesque Barossa Valley. As always, my name is David Webb. I'm joined in commentary today by Nigel Peters and Ryan Jennings as Barossa will host Elizabeth tonight, the Northern Derby. But I am starting to feel old because both Connor and Jamie, I coached them when they were under 15s and now they're playing full-grown man rugby.
Well, there's 8 in the Barossa starting lineup that played A teams either last year or the year before.
And that's huge, and that I think is the future of rugby has to be in there.
It's the key to developing any club. You need to get your 18 strong and get them coming through.
Yeah. And just while we're in the opening stanza of this, a massive shout out to Woodville Rugby Club, because for the first time in a long amount of time, they've got a full complement of juniors playing today, from under 7s up to under 18s. So well done, Woodville. So we are underway. What you could describe as a top of the table clash for the second tier in South Australian rugby at the moment. There's an interception there. Big step in what used to be the cricket pitch. Trying to find an overlap just on the left-hand side. A little bit of forthright conversation going on in the centre of the park. And we're back to playing rugby. Out towards the middle, Elizabeth doing well to keep hold of the ball. Just looking to play it at their pace. The one thing about playing up here is that the ground can take the energy out of your legs.
Yeah, it's nowhere near as bad as it used to be, Dave. So
it's a lot better, like you said, a lot better than the last time I played here. And in the middle of June, if it's still like this in June, it's doing well. July, actually, sorry, early July. Elizabeth again, just happy to try and keep hold of the ball. Forward has not gone much at the moment. And the first penalty of the day, just not rolling away. You find that the more phases that you'll have as Elizabeth, the more likely you are to get those penalties and be able to move forward.
Absolutely.
So that's something you've worked on the obviously very much shortened pre-season, just keeping the ball and ball retention. Yeah,
just back to the basics really, just keep it simple. Control the ball, play at our pace.
You nearly went with the second S then, didn't you?
Oh, wow. But yeah, a lot of keeping it at our pace and trying to control that game a bit more.
Yeah, because when we saw Elizabeth win 3 years ago now, you won the Division 1 championship against
correct.
Woodville with the one in the dying moments, which is obviously great television.
Corey Underhill.
Great television. Line-out's a bit messy, and Barossa almost had first chance at it, but a handling error. But first knock-on came from the men from Elizabeth, so it'll be a scrum down to Barossa. But that was one thing we noticed in that year that you won that Division 1 championship, just how structured you were, and that seemed to have gone out the window over the last couple of years.
Yeah, we did lose quite a few players. Obviously, the year after that, we played in the final as well against Port, and nearly pinched in the dying minutes, or not the dying minutes, but certainly if there'd been, that second half had been a bit longer, it might have been a different story. But certainly last year was a tough year, lost a lot of players, but there's some fresh talent out there, some new and old faces, so it's good to see.
Well, it's going to be the first chance that we get to see Barossa with ball in hand today.
Yeah, scrum continuing on from last week against Port. They pretty much dominated Port all week last week. So.
We'll go out to the far side, and there's no quarter asked, no quarter given at the moment. It's certainly a heads-up punch, counter-punch style of game so far. And Barossa will get their first penalty. Gave that one everything. Sean McCarthy. Big off the ground follow through.
got to be the worst haircut on the park today.
You could say that. I don't think there's many worse than that going around. Did the barber run out of time?
I think you need to wait till McIsaac gets on the field. You might see a worse one. Not sure.
If it's any worse, it'd almost be a one-game ban, surely.
He said he saw it on somebody else and looked good, so why not?
In fairness, Nigel, neither of us can comment on people's haircuts. Again, they will work on that far side, trying to give themselves as much of an open field as they possibly can. Just a little bit one-up and predictable from both sides at the moment, and then hands in the ruck. If there's only one runner coming off the back of a breakdown, then it's easy to work out who you're going to have to tackle. Here is McCarthy. See whether we get his signature follow through again. No, he's stayed grounded this time. Actually, a better kick. But just going back onto success, Nigel, as we were talking before about Elizabeth winning 3 years ago, not much senior success for the men from Barossa, but junior success-wise, it's been a good couple of years.
Juniors done very well. The 16s won the premiership 2 years ago, I think, and the 18s have made a few grand finals. And unfortunately, we lost a lot of players down to Woodville, so we're struggling. We haven't got an 18 side this year, but hopefully we'll build them back up. 16s did very well again this afternoon, and they've played well for the last 3 or 4 years. But numbers-wise, juniors is huge here at the moment.
Big, strong running in the midfield again. Trying to get a name for that young man. Andrew Roberts. Is he wearing the right jersey? That is Andrew Roberts.
That's Robbo.
Certainly seen him a couple of times. He wants to be involved. Didn't quite make touch, but knocked on. And Elizabeth now have the ball in dangerous position, have a little bit of go forward. Good work from the number 8, but that's going to come back.
That'd be Jake.
Jake Gotch did very, very well to get hands on, and you would take that, go back for the scrum. So Elizabeth will have the scrum. It's the first time we've really seen them in the opposing half. There's not been much either way as far as attacking rugby so far. So the Elizabeth scrum, and then Terry Lango, is he off the field? Just joined that scrum late. Were they trying to go with a 7-man scrum, or? Barossa nearly took one against the head, comes back out the same tunnel. Dave O'Gunning, the man in the middle with the whistle, 2 weeks running. Obviously won the coin toss again, Nigel, to get on TV.
Yeah, he's done very well to get in front of Snoop on TV, I think.
That would be a long discussion every week, wouldn't it? We haven't seen Snoop yet. We're looking forward to seeing Snoopy. Just while we wait for this scrum today, the fixtures today, Souths versus Port Adelaide, Onkers versus Brighton will be one that will be an interesting one. We'll come back to that. Elizabeth, flat ball, nice. Good flat ball, comes out of a couple of tackles, has an overlap, hand off away. Nice, Elizabeth will come up the road and they will get the first points of the day. Another new player for Elizabeth, didn't see him last year.
Unfortunately, I don't know too much about him myself, but I know he can run like the wind. Nice flat ball there from Joe T. Strong run, strong carry, good offload.
It seems like there's been an influx of Fijians find their way to Elizabeth. Well, they'll go 5-0 up on the Wojtek scoreboard just as we tick towards 10 minutes. a wake-up call. Hopefully it might spark this game into life a little bit.
Yeah, Barossa haven't had much of the ball yet, so
No.
Haven't been able to show anything. And that was a great line from the Elizabeth 12 running through there.
And once you've missed 3-4 tackles, everything's going to get difficult then. So 5-0 with the kick to come. That one looks good. So they will go 7 points to 0 up. Just running through them, obviously. Woodville taking on Adelaide University. Barossa versus Elizabeth, which we're at, and Burnside versus Old Collegians. So some interesting games all the way through there. We've talked about the 2 tiers essentially of South Australian rugby. Both of you, I assume, just looking to try and break into that number 5 spot, being the Division 1 champions. Souths have been there or thereabouts over the last couple of years. So what's from a Barossa point of view, what's your target this year? Is it to win that second tier? Because obviously we split into Premier Grade and Division 1 halfway through.
Yeah, to be honest, having stopped the coaching this year, I haven't been around the club very much.
Yep.
But I think the development, especially of the young lads that are coming through, as I said, 8 in the starting lineup today, played 18s in the last 2 years. So to develop those guys, get a few wins on the board would be nice. Really happy to have the likes of Burnside, Brighton and Old Coles coming to visit us up here for the year, it just helps build the whole club when you've got a whole day of rugby against very good clubs.
Again, Elizabeth, once they get going, they just seem to, it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back, 1 step forward, 2 steps back at the moment. They obviously have got dangerous runners. Just would like to see someone coming off that first runner a little bit more. At the back to Campagna. He just lowers his head. Again, doesn't make the gain line in the counter ruck came, but Everson smartly picks up. They go again, this time they'll put the ball to boot. Just push themselves into the attacking half.
Longest trip to the bar ever.
Yeah, I think
you get waiter service. Nobody else does. We'll have to have words here.
Got to have friends in the right places, mate.
And unfortunately, Nigel, going back to it, Barossa haven't had enough ball.
No, not at all.
Line out works well, and then they'll go into midfield. And again, just look to get going forward. Darby at the back. Just lost it forward. It did. The call of it went backwards. I'm not sure how it would have gone backwards, but I think he's a little bit nervous today, Jamie Darby. The homecoming of sorts for him.
Look, he's playing in front of his brother and his parents. His brothers can't stay fit, so they're out here watching him.
And the entire rugby community.
Yeah, and apparently his relatives over in the UK are watching him as well, so 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, good morning over there. In the height of summer, they're having a heat wave at the moment. It's been reported to getting as high as 31. Infrastructure is breaking down over at Blighty.
The roads are melting. The train tracks are buckling.
Genuinely, the roads do melt when it gets up to 30 degrees. So another Elizabeth scrum, and again Barossa just managing to get them go backwards and wheel. Little pick and go from Rosemeyer, trying to find a little bit of space. Now they've got go forward again. Big Song centre run, good offload. Turned over at the breakdown though, Darby to Moore. McCarthy with the offload. Numbers out to this near side if they can get it quick enough. Still there, didn't look, he's just going to put it on the boot. How's the counter attack from Elizabeth? Good first up tackle, gets up, can't make the second one. Moore tries to bundle him into touch and eventually they do get him. So, in the side. we may have a small law discussion here, Nigel.
Was there a ruck, Dave?
There was no ruck at all. We'll ask you the question, what constitutes a ruck?
Looked like a fair call to me, to be honest. So.
One or more player from either side over the top of the tackle.
Ball. Yes.
There's no ruck there. I mean, you can't. You also. I mean, what? It's a penalty either way, I think, because you can't play someone on the floor. You can't just fall on them.
I think as it was a tackle, there is an offside line these days, Dave. So I think with the law changed a year or two ago. So yeah, probably a right call from Dave there.
Line up, very good position. They'll go over the back to Everson. Did well to get fingertips on it. Rosemeyer looks to find a way through. Does find a way through. Got the offload away, just couldn't bring it in. Is that Hyam? It is Hyam.
Sporting headgear today, it's unusual.
Yeah, it's not like him, not to be unrecognisable. Hands up in apology. Always good fun watching Jason Hyam play. We know he's got a thick skin. We do let him have it every now and again.
We'll forgive him for that one. Just the one.
Just the one. So this time a scrum to the Barossa. It is inside the 22, so they can clear if they want to. Solid scrummage again from the men from the Valley. Now they've got a little bit of room. They decided to run from well inside their own half. Lost it. Managed to get the tap back. Kick ahead. Oh, it bobbles around a little bit. Whoa! Huge step and stepped right into McCarthy, I think. Was that McCarthy he stepped into? Jeez. Made the tackle for him.
I think he tricked himself.
Well, is that the first victim of the similar shirts? Bobbled again. Mr. Gunning happy with it. The clearance kick does not go anywhere. But there was a knock on as well. So a scrum in a very, very dangerous position. We have a player down. Looks like a Barossa player. The Barossa physio working hard to get out there.
Well, that'd be disappointing if this guy has to go off. He's made the trip down on the bus from Renmark this morning. So,
wow, okay.
Two Fijians out in the centres for the Barossa. They've been training here all year but ran out of work, so had to move up the Riverland for work, and they've caught the bus down this morning.
Very seasonal work in the Barossa.
Unfortunately. We lost another guy, a French halfback that was here, played sevens for us, Boris Perlo, early in the season. Starred at the sevens, at the beach sevens, and unfortunately he's gone back to France.
So there is some changes. That's Mark Cooper come on. I did have a chat with Coops before we started and challenged him to last longer than last year. Showed me his very impressive operation scar. Oh no, I think they've just gone on to try and help him off if he needed to. Just trying to get the faces on TV.
Yeah, Coops loves to be on TV. Pictures in the paper again this week as well.
He loves it. Is he the mayor of Lyndoch yet?
Almost. I think he runs the park committee.
So, scrum in a very, very good attacking position. Big blind side for them to work on. Again, it's nice and solid. There is that blind side work. Darby, flat ball on the outside. Can he finish? Thumb goes up. Yes, he can. He's just going to ask the question, but I saw a thumb up from the assistant over on that far side. In conversation, though, now.
Yeah.
Try given. So they'll come back. Timing of the pass from Darby was good, and geez, he had some work to do. A little bit over the top.
Almost got away with a penalty try for the high tackle if he didn't get it down, Dave, maybe?
Well, yeah, I mean, you would want to see certainly from a kicker point of view, you would like to see the the penalty try. I don't think that's going to get much harder. Right-footed, right out there on that far touchline. Of course, that everything high now is frowned upon.
Yeah.
Certainly on the lower end of the impact scale, that seatbelt tackle. From a kicker point of view, your standing foot up here is the problem.
Yeah, it's always going to drift away from the post from the right footer.
Aim a foot outside that right hand upright. Hope the natural curl brings it round. No real wind to speak of.
You could get some Irish bend on this one.
Sends it on his way. He doesn't have the leg, unfortunately. Had the direction, I think, just not the leg. It's a big old kick from out there. So the 2 points are the difference.
Normally what I do is I'll cycle through the 2 or the 3, and whichever one was the best, I'll play that again. It's like a bonus. But yeah, just play it after the try and then again after the kick.
Should say as well that while we do this, it's the Northern Rugby Shield, the inaugural Northern Rugby Shield today, these two teams. They've started it off, so because they're the two most northern teams, every year they'll play, every year or every match?
I only heard about it today, actually. I think it's cumulative points on the day.
It is for the whole
think.
day, every
correct.
team
From-
score.
From under 12s.
Yeah, and I did see that the score, I think, in the under 18s was 41 points to 5, so I think Barossa have certainly stuck down an early marker.
Started well.
We got off a 2-point win in the under 14s as well, so we should be reasonably comfortable.
Another one that's borderline high. Referees were mighty hot on it 2 years ago. Seem to have cooled off a little bit this year. Bigger things to worry about, I think. McCarthy with an offload. I see that from both sides. Just get that second bite at it again. Ball goes on the boot. Turns Elizabeth around. Line up from both sides has been a little bit messy, so that's not a bad option. It's not guaranteed ball either way.
Elizabeth has probably got the better line out. Troy Everson's been good for the last few years jumping in the line out, so, and Barossa really has not done well in the line outs.
Troy is a tremendous jumper. We have a new player. He's unfortunately not playing today. He's injured, Alex Williamson. He is a distinct pleasure to lift in the line out. You don't lift him at all.
50 kilos.
Yeah.
No, he's quite tall.
I think I've seen
quite
him around.
heavy, but yeah, he's here today. But yeah, just does all the work for you.
I think I saw him before, and I thought he would be a good addition for you. When he didn't get changed, and I felt a little sorry for you. Away again. Rosemeyer throws one into midfield. Now they've got space on the outside. Managed to get it away. The covering tackle comes across. Came off the knees, so everyone's happy with it. It was Gotch again, managing to make a nuisance of himself, and again they've managed them to push them back behind the gain line. Hyam now will get going. Throws a speculative one out onto that far side and just lost in the tackle.
Yeah, I think Barossa really need to tighten up in the centres there and stop some of these guys just making metres.
Yeah, that was Amari Anzarini. I can't read my own writing here. Amari Anzarini out on this near side, and once they start getting movement and the ball out wide, they're starting to get a lot better and a lot more go forward. And as the game goes on, Hyam's going to find the gaps and make those breaks.
I think, he is a large human. He's definitely going to make breaks. I think that was Illy out on that wing there. Amari's on this wing this side, I think, or Illy's at fullback rather.
Yeah. I think it was the number 14 who made the break eventually. There was a little bit in the midfield, and then we got out here. And it's just that final ball breaking down, and it broke over on that far side as well, which I think that's Jacob Asai over that far side, unless they've
correct.
swapped the jerseys on me again. Just reset the scrum. Jason Hyam again playing in front row. As he's got older, he's moved further forward.
Better off tie him up in there than put him at number 8.
It's not really where we want him playing, but unfortunately today he's had to step up there again. He was named at second row, so.
Again, that scrum, solid. Another line out. Been a bit bitty, but close. That's what we want to see. We want to see close rugby. We don't see either one of them run away with it. Just see in the background, there it is. That's the Kia Picanto. It's a raffle prize. Contact Rugby Union SA. You'll find ways to buy into that raffle, and the proceeds from the raffle will help to send every single age group away on their state trip this year. Huge thanks to Mazda. Again, Roberts will beat a couple. Head down for the corner, and there's your argument for the penalty try. The flag goes out. So it's an interesting one. For mine, I don't know. We'd have to see it again to see whether there's a covering tackle coming
was there a
over
covering
Nigel.
defender?
But certainly, penalty try. Is it Jamie Darby who gets a note? It's the 40. Oh, and the knee.
He was still 5 metres out, so
it was 5
maybe
metres out,
benefit
and there
of the doubt.
There was players there, but it's certainly a
could go
penalty.
either way.
And I think possibly a player advantage for the next 10 minutes, I would suggest. So that's Jake Marshall.
Yep.
Do you know what? The worst ones. No, he has gone. He's gone into the middle for the penalty try. So we're going to add 7 points on for Elizabeth. No need for the kick. That one, I think.
Yeah, certainly one could have gone either way, Dave.
It was. I mean, it certainly will be debated, Nigel. Let's put it that way.
I probably couldn't argue with it.
I think Ryan will agree with that completely. The groans around.
We'll take it. It was definitely high. I don't think there was any real intent.
No.
In
A bit strange there. He hasn't given a yellow card. Marshall's still on the field, so.
Yeah, I mean.
Very odd.
I mean, he's slipped up as well. If you look, he's hit him in the elbow and he's lifted his elbow up. But again, 2 years ago, that's a red card, Nigel.
Close to it.
Yeah, it's been a change. We had that massive peak 2 years ago, and it just seems to be dropping off again now.
I think you just got your wish, Nigel. I think
Someone's
Jason Hyam is going to number 8 because Pride has just come on.
So have they shifted him around? Yeah, I think
Robbo's
that might be Robbo Dunn. Unfortunately, he did not go to ground very easily, shall we say. So the restart will go again. Good restart. Good hit again by Gotch. Again making a nuisance of himself at the breakdown.
Really have to make those first up tackles.
That's going to be the big one. Everson, there's that inside ball to Hyam. Whoa, little don't argue to McCarthy. Discretion, the better form of valor for McCarthy there, I think. Oh, another break in midfield. Runners inside and outside. Beats one.
That's a better tackle.
That's a better tackle. Just got a bit messy. I think if they look at that back again, he should have given that earlier. McCarthy will step into halfback. Connor Moore beats the first one. Still going forward. Good leg strength from the young man. Darby gets there. Little bit isolated over on that far side. Gotch does well to offload. Oh, hey. Oh, that was
now the card's
reckless. So there's a yellow card for that one. See what, if anything, was involved in. Ooh, swinging arm and everything. That's Jacob Asai will come and sit at halfway for 10 minutes.
Young Isaiah there, he had his sternum broken at Port last year. He's come back.
Come back from
he
his
just
stone,
will
right.
not. He will not hold back. He just keeps running forward. Another one out of our under-18s from last year.
Now it's vitally important. There's a little high one from Mr. Hyam as well. Oh, he's lucky that's just the yellow. His eyes closed. Deep breath from Ryan.
Yeah. Probably lucky to get away with that, I think.
Solid line out. Runners went a little bit early for Derby. Barossa now have to take advantage of this extra player for the next 10 minutes. Derby's being introduced to Northern Suburbs Rugby today. I don't think he's managed to get a pass away without getting hit in the last 5 minutes. Again, they will get away, and again it's Hyam. And Marshall puts the ball to boot. That's very, very well, Hyam. Into touch, though. There was certainly, I think young Marshall's life may have flashed before him. I think he was as pleased as anybody.
He hasn't started well. He's been the best tackler. He won the best tackler trophy the last couple of years in a row, so he is better than this.
Certainly his life flashed before him. I think he was as pleased as anyone. Jason Hyam decided to put it to boot.
Jason Hyam with no knee brace on, running straight at you.
He'll hate me for saying this, but he's a fair bit slower than what he was a couple of years ago as well. But
still an imposing runner, though.
Absolutely. I'm certainly glad he plays for us. So
I think Matt Mooney from university will echo those sentiments.
That was a great piece of vision from last year. I'm pretty sure he sought him out for that.
Well, he ran past 3 players to get to him. Elizabeth again, little inside ball. Again, just not making that first up tackle. Slid up again. He's going to go as well. McCarthy's going to sit down. That one for me wasn't as bad as the Marshall one, but he's got to stamp his foot down. That's a couple we've seen slide up now. That chasing back tackle. No, he's gone right over the top of the shoulder. It's one of the hardest ones to do, and another player down. Can't quite see who that one is.
Scott Wiley, the old man.
Yeah, the old Scotsman. Had a chat with him before the game. Raised the issue of how am I going to tell her the difference, and he said to me, I'm the one with the big belly. So Elizabeth again inside the 22. $14 points to 5. A lot of support on Facebook for the Rams. The Elizabeth guys are going to have to start getting involved. Half an hour gone on the Wojtek scoreboard, 14 points to 5. Again, a messy lineup, tidied up at the back, and just very, very messy all around. Managed to hold him up, he can't get down. I think he will have called it. I think this is going to end up as a Barossa ball. Even if it goes to ground now, just lie on top of it. Yep, and that will be a Barossa ball.
That's Connor Moore there. held him up to start with.
It's been really interesting. We've seen a couple of those, and obviously last year it was a massive bugbear of mine where the players just surrendered and tried to get a knee to the ground. And there's been a huge change now, whereas people are finding that they're almost lifting them off the ground to prevent them getting that knee down. 6 minutes plus red time away from half time. You've got to come away with something from this. Well, they're now even again, aren't they? It's wasted opportunity. I'm sure the coach of Barossa he'll want to get him in, just because it's really small fixes, Nigel, isn't it?
Yeah, I think just the, as I said, the missing the first up tackles through the centres there, and just haven't had enough of the ball.
Again, they run from very deep. Take that, that's as good as a clearance kick. And all I've got him written down as is Gunzo.
Gunzo Newman.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
One of the boys from Renmark?
Yeah, down from Renmark.
But you'll take that, that's as good as a kick.
Oh, that's probably better than McCarthy's kick.
Well, certainly from where McCarthy is at the moment, because he's in the naughty chair. Movement in the lineup, and Everson clean. Love to get them all going, but I tell you what, powerful work from the Barossa pack. Into midfield again. Better first up defence from this Barossa side, and a little knock on. It will be a Barossa scrum midfield. Big blind side to work with. Number 8, just their eyes light up at this position, don't they?
Yeah, Jake's still learning how to pick the ball up off the back of the scrum, but when he does, he can take off pretty quickly.
Well, there was a nice little blindside move down there that led to the try. Yeah. You're not seeing teams do anymore is overload one side. They all like to split now. Just back yourself one-on-one. So Gotch's at number 8. Darby will put it in. Again, nice and solid from Barossa. They come to this side. Again, guns a good line, straightens, flat ball. And again, they make good yards. Starting to enjoy the extra space that 14 on 14 affords the Barossa team.
We just got a little bit tight this side. Maybe a little bit of a switch inside might have been the move there.
From a coaching point of view, though, you're happy with that. Lineup seems to have just settled down a little bit for Elizabeth.
I'm looking forward to. We've worked on a few new line-out moves through the week, so I'm looking forward to seeing him control the line out a little bit more and see a bit of that.
Out they go again. Step back, look for the safety of the big boys. Got himself a little bit isolated, but did enough. Hyam. Again, through the midfield. And the offload is there. There's one outside him. Out the back. Everson can get away from the first one. Big don't argue. One man to beat inside, just threw it, hopefully. Be interested to see which way that comes back. All a bit of a schmozzle.
Going forward, Elizabeth, he's given it their way.
Yeah. Benefit of the doubt there, third first. I mean, no disrespect to Mr. Gunning, that's a guess. No one knew what was going on at the bottom of that. This don't argue from Everson. It's the stuff of dreams. That may make a highlights package, that one.
He does like the don't argue.
It's one of those don't argues, which makes the other side. I wasn't arguing. He came looking for me. So another scrum, Elizabeth scrum. Barossa have knocked on the door a couple of times of taking one against the head if they needed to. Now is the time to do it. We will be getting ready to give Elizabeth the extra player advantage shortly.
I don't know if he'll get on just before half time or not.
Oh, again it's messy and again it's going backwards. It's come out and it's in Barossa's hands. Can they go again? Gunzo beats a couple again. Out to Gotch. Spill loose. Almost turned over again. We're suggesting that went forward. And must correct myself, it's a Kia Picanto. I did say Kia Picanto and then said thanks to Mazda.
Yeah.
I'm getting old. I'm getting very old. It's Morn Team Kia who have donated the car, so thank you very much to them, and I apologise. I've got a Mazda, you see. It's early onset idiocy.
Yeah, I heard you talking last night with Nathan Satala and mentioning how your memory's going, Dave.
It's terrible. I couldn't remember the name of Wade Dooley.
Comes to us all.
So that is half time. Elizabeth lead that one 14 points to 5. Nice and close. And like I said, Nigel, not much to change for Barossa at the half time. They make those first up tackles, they'll go okay. Yep. On the other side of that coin, Elizabeth just need to keep doing what they're doing. Tidy up the scrum a little bit and they'll be okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go for a break. We'll be back with you for half number 2. Vineyards in full flight.
I think the boys would drink too much beer and wine if they come up here in the summer.
I don't know. I think the chocolate stout's pretty spectacular,
it's not
and
bad,
that's definitely a winter drink.
Just watch the 8% when you're driving home.
I'm not driving today.
Drink responsibly, ladies and gentlemen. Second half is underway. Barossa, because it's quite difficult to differentiate the shirts, will be attacking the right of your screen, and Elizabeth attacking the left of your screen. Kick gobbled up by Rosemeyer. We start as we left off, but another turnover. Certainly from a team point of view, Elizabeth will be happier with their halves, obviously, because they're on the right side of the scoreboard, but just fewer mistakes and good ball retention all through that first half.
Yeah, I think they'll definitely be happy with the way they've played. It was still a little bit scrappy. I feel like that scoreline could be either way. Both teams need to tighten up a little bit. Particularly, we definitely need to tighten up around that scrum. It's very, very loose.
And from a Barossa point of view, I mean, that one misses touch. It's those little mistakes.
Wow.
Those little mistakes need to be cleaned up. Nice little stop and go. Took on the defender, sat him down. Enjoyed it so much he went back for another go. Again, midfield running from Elizabeth, causing all sorts of problems. Everson again, looks for it, same guy. He's on a hat trick.
I told you he likes to fend.
Now they'll slow it down. Campagna, big step for Campagna, sits Gotch down. Again they go, and again that first up tackle doesn't quite make it. Offload doesn't quite go down, bounces around a bit, Rosemeyer will get it. Now they've got the momentum. As they inch ever closer to the line. Held up over the line, so it'll be an Elizabeth scrum. But again, Nigel, from a Barossa point of view, that's a missed touch.
Yep.
Missed tackle in midfield. Yep. A couple of missed tackles, this one included.
Too many mistakes, far too many mistakes. And they really have to work hard this next few minutes while they're down to 10 men To 14 men, sorry, 10 men. They're down a man. So they really need to hold Elizabeth out until they get McCarthy back on the field.
I don't think it would be too long. It was just a couple of minutes after the yellow card for Elizabeth. I actually had a chat with Phil Benger at half-time, who's been involved in the refereeing community for a number of years. We'll just leave it as a number of years, Nigel. We won't throw him under the bus too much.
Yeah, we were talking age earlier, and he is a bit older than me, so.
Certainly.
McCarthy's back on there now, so.
Has he come back on?
Yeah.
We're back to parity. Just in time for Elizabeth to attack. Nice quick hands in the middle. Step inside, then they will fire it out. Defence has to come across from Elizabeth. Try is given.
Again, 2 missed tackles there, out on the wing. It's not good.
That's the one that's going to cause the Barossa coach to lose sleep at night. Just looking over to see how he's doing follically. I think if you become a coach in South Australian rugby, you may as well just shave your head.
Oh, look, I was losing mine before I started coaching, Dave.
Good finish. But again, disappointing. They're just first up tackling for Barossa, just not there. But we were discussing at halftime, just as we get ready for this, that player who got the yellow card for Elizabeth, very, very lucky that it was just a yellow. Jacob Asai.
Definitely didn't look good on the
replay now,
especially in the slow motion.
You can get it slower than that.
No, thanks.
So the kick to come. See whether he can improve on what McCarthy did. Sends it on its way.
Oh,
Crossbar in.
Kick, Rosie.
You sound as surprised as everybody else.
Well, so that's a big kick from there. That's massive.
That is
huge.
Got on the high side of the crossbar as well. So.
Good finish again. Just stepping inside the trailing defender.
Oh, 2 defenders got in each other's way, probably
yeah,
there.
3 defenders over there that he manages to beat. So when they do the post-mortem of this one, they're not going to be overly comfortable with the defensive display. And then just compounded, it doesn't go 10. It's been the story so far for Barossa. It's just too many little mistakes.
Yeah, they just don't look the side they were last week against Port, that's for sure.
So Elizabeth scrum in midfield. We're starting to get a couple of come on Lizzies now. What's up with Shawnee McCarthy's hair? We're not entirely sure.
I'm telling you, I don't know if you saw McIsaac there on the bench. He's run the dye through it again this week by the look of it.
Oh, I've seen it now. I couldn't see it before. Well, that is special.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Oh, nice, Joe.
That's a juggle. Does bring it back in. Couple of steps to try and find some space. Just tying up so many Barossa defenders. Rosemeyer again. The evergreen Damien Brooks. Inside ball to Everson. Okay, and Elizabeth just being able to control the pace. Now they'll come near side. Thought about the offload. Gone backwards and Barossa will swoop on it. Oh! Jamie Darby wondered where the truck came from. As per usual, rugby players asking the question. That was out. McCarthy goes for the banana. Doesn't get a huge amount on it. He's still continuing the conversation. Did well. You can see what his argument is. He's going to say it's out, but it's not.
The old argument used to be if a bird could.
Yeah, that's kind of gone now.
But we're forwards.
Yes.
See ball get
Just
ball.
takes a while for it to seep through.
That's it.
Managed to spoil the lineup. Again, handling errors in midfield. Something we've seen, and I wonder whether that's just because of the shortened pre-season and the really long off-season. Another big don't argue in midfield. The poor bloke in the number 6 shirt. Who's that? Isaiah Pilkington.
Yeah.
He's been beaten up a little bit today.
He just doesn't hold back, though, for a young, skinny kid. He's got the biggest heart, I think.
Jake Gotch will send it to McCarthy, and been a little bit inconsistent with the boot today, McCarthy. And again, it's just your standing foot, trying to keep control of your standing foot in this weather. Oh. Has he kept the... Oh.
Nearly.
Some hops from Pilkington again. Put down on the replay. What is it? Failure isn't falling down. It's not getting back up again. But a good kick. That's some fair hops from that young man out there. That's Amari over there. Barossa now would hope that they get this line out right. I think if they can get it down, their pack can get something going. We're likely to see a rolling maul from around 7 metres out. Oh, it's bang on the 5, that actually. Messy again and turned over again.
There's Jason with no headgear getting his hand in there.
He's obviously had a look at Facebook at half-time, realised he can't see himself.
Yeah, he's probably gone and styled his hair again as well.
Yeah, there it is. Look at that. That's some vertical.
Well off the ground.
Yeah. And then it hits the line. So he did get it. He kept it in, and then unfortunately he hit the line on the 5 metre line. Just didn't get enough behind it.
Trying to think when I could ever jump that high. Fairly certain it was never.
Yeah, well, I'm scared of heights, so if I ever get up there, I'll be in trouble.
So it's a scrum, and it's Elizabeth ball, and Barossa have already shown that they can nick one.
Better scrum.
Better scrum. Manages to get away, finds touch. Just about enough. It has always been a feature of Elizabeth's play, their lineup.
It's definitely something that we work on. It's if you can't win a line out and you can't win your own scrum, then you're not going to win many games of rugby. So,
A couple of old boys coming on from Barossa here now.
That's
Tane Skipper and Mark Cooper.
so now we can see whether Coops can manage to stay on for longer than he did last time. Straight into the action. A little bit of movement going on. And still stolen, I think. Yep. Elizabeth didn't bite at all at any of the movement. Again, they will go back and just clear the lines. Take it off in bite-sized chunks, but it's just got to be better, Nigel, the line-out.
The line-outs have been a problem for Barossa for the last 2 or 3 years. And the amount of work they put into it, you would think they should be better at it, but I don't know what the answer is there.
Have they gone shorter? I mean, that's one option, is to go shorter. Oh,
Again.
Hyam coughed it up.
I said we'd forgive him for one, but
Not the second one.
that's the third one.
Oh, that's the third one?
Gonna feed him for that drop ball in the 22 in that first half.
He's got a very good apology face though.
Oh, he said to me today when he asked me if I could do the commentary, he said just, lots of compliments about me.
Okay, well, you managed to get dressed properly, Jason. No?
Your hair looks nice, mate.
Yeah. Interesting. I think when we get a stoppage, this pitch seems to run in completely the opposite direction to every other pitch in South Australia.
Yeah.
Which has put Elizabeth at a little bit of a disadvantage. One that I'm giving. Oh, that's a nice flat ball into midfield. Derby again, out to this near side. McCarthy. Now they've got numbers. Look to come inside. Forward pass. So normally the pitch would run north-south.
Yeah.
So the sun would come across.
Yeah, so we run east-west here.
East-west, which has put the sun directly in the eyes of Elizabeth in the second half.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether you want to run north-south on this pitch. It's very much uphill that way.
They're going to spend some money over the summer. We're getting $600,000 spent to level the pitch out and put some new lights up. So it might be better next year.
Well, it's improved from when I remember playing here a few years ago now, and you were playing in ankle-deep mud. I'm pretty sure there's still some juniors' boots out there that are lost in that mud somewhere. So
archaeologists in the future are going to wonder what the heck
happened here. Yeah.
Better first up tackle. Problem is they've just got to be consistent with it. No options either way, and in the end,
better pressure.
Yeah. Again, they have managed when they made the tackles behind the gain line. They've looked okay. And Elizabeth haven't really had an answer for it, but it's just one missed tackle,
Like that one.
like that one, and then they find themselves on the back foot. And another one. Whiting managing to, oh, sorry, it's not Whiting.
Daking.
Daking managed to find a way through. Everson again putting his hand up for work. Flat ball again. McCarthy does okay, but a penalty for offside. Gone quick, Whiting. Finds Hyam and tried to sell the high tackle. Rosemeyer. Panya and managed to hold on to an ankle that time. Isaiah Pilkington, but again it's relentless from the Elizabethans. Little show and go, then the overlap is there. He just lost his footing. Brooks. Penalty.
Connor Moore.
Good young lads around in that back row who are just going to start to cause problems if teams don't get there in support quick enough. What do you even ask for when you go into the barber shop?
I feel like he just maybe he didn't have enough money to pay for the full haircut. I'm happy to finish paying for it.
It's really hard to cut your hair in the mirror.
Yeah, not releasing, and yep, got to get there in numbers. So a Barossa lineup. Do have players warming up for Barossa. Again, they've gone to that shortened lineup. They've gone to a four-man lineup. finally they get one. Flat ball across the front. Now they get a bit of go forward. Scott Wiley gets his name called for the right reason. McCarthy. Gotch. Back to McCarthy. Loops it over the top. Whoa.
It had to be offside.
Yeah, sorry, Troy. There's absolutely no way you're that quick.
He's pretty quick.
Gotch again, puts ball in hand. Arms out again. Pilkington this time gets to go forward, sits down a defender. Cooper will have a look. Going to come back though. High tackle. Yeah, it was one or two steps.
Yeah, just a little.
They're big steps, though.
That's a better kick. Again, from a refereeing point of view, if you turn around and you see someone with a number 4 on the back that far forward, chances are.
I know, we're like hippos, mate. We're lethal over the first 5 metres. We only slow down after that.
I thought you were going to say lethal underwater.
It's good to see the sun out, Dave. It's been miserable here all morning.
Yes, it did come through just as we got here. They're better now. They've dropped that line out to 4, just a little bit more solid. Penalty. Hands on the floor. Again, it's been the tail of the tape today. All of the good work undone by a mistake. Liam Grieg warming up with lots of intention.
I think Barossa really need to put some points on the board soon. We've been down in this half for a lot of the last 20 minutes and haven't managed to get a point on the board.
So there is that change. Liam Grieg will come on.
Brody Dakin coming off the wing.
Another one who I coached when he was a youngster. So they're going to stay with that short lineup. Got another one.
That was Elizabeth's feed, so Barossa stolen that one.
Just stopped him a little bit. Oh, there's absolutely no care in these tackles. McCarthy tries to run over the top, can't quite get there. Just about sorted it out. Now Barossa get a bit of go forward. Skipper up to the 22. McCarthy again. Saw Hyam lurking. And sent it inside to Wiley. Darby.
Caught him high a little bit again.
Lazy one, I think. Nobody saw it.
He's gone the other way. Yep, knock on.
Knock on. Nobody saw it. It's a get out of jail, really, for Elizabeth, that. And the pressure's just starting to mount over the last couple of minutes. It's a good challenge from Illy, the Elizabeth fullback. Had to make it. Scrum inside the 22. Looks like some changes are going to be rung for Elizabeth as well. We have gone past an hour on the Wojtek scoreboard and the score remains 21 points to 5. There's still life in this one.
Yeah, if Barossa can score in the next few minutes, it's really going to tighten this game up.
I think there's an advantage for Elizabeth as well because it's very, very difficult to come up here and not treat it as a mini tour game and not look forward to coming up to the Barossa and seeing a different part of the country and
We certainly enjoy coming up here. Always enjoyed playing Barossa from a personal perspective. So
It's the one.
it definitely is a little bit of a derby. So bragging rights are good.
Well, there's a shield to prove it now. Another penalty, not rolling away. Campagna thought about it. But again, we talked about it last week. It's a short pre-season. The match fitness takes a very, very long time to come back.
Yeah, and the fact that they had to train with only 10 people on the pitch at a time for many weeks, and
they only went back to full and contact allowed and lineouts to be practiced a week ago. I think it was.
I think that's the big one. It's not the movement around the park. It's the contact. You don't realise, especially as a forward, how much that contact takes it out of you. And scrumming, just I love scrums, but they're hard work.
Barossa have nicked another one. Derby managed to get it away. McCarthy will pick it up. Trying to pick his way through the midfield. Almost a mistake with the jersey recognition there, I think. Penalty for not releasing. Starting to get a bit messy. Elizabeth just allowing Barossa to come back into it and just give them a sniff of hope. McCarthy will push them up to the 22. Just a little. I'm not sure what he. Anyway, just pick something. Well, they've gone back to a full lineup and they've lost it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Never any thought of anything else but a pick and go there.
I actually thought he was going to pass it for a second, so I was going to be shocked.
It flashed across his mind. You could see it flash, and then he decided against it. Slow again. Clock management will start.
so Lapworth's about to come on with his, whatever you call it.
Oh, well, there it is. Yeah, it's McCarthy with benefits, isn't it?
Yeah. It has to be a dare, surely. Played under 18s for Old Coles this morning, so hence he's a bit late onto the field.
Again, the lineup. Played under 18s for Old Coles this morning.
We got a few boys playing for Old Coles just to make up some numbers.
Then they will move it out to that far side. And a little knock on and Barossa will have the scrum. Someone asking whether Cooper is still playing. Yes, he is, and he's going okay. He's still with us, which is important.
Yeah, I saw a replay. I think it was a 2015 grand final that he played on with that knee brace, and I think it's the same knee brace. So.
Well, when you find a good one, keep it. That's from Greg McGill. He did some work around the Barossa, didn't he?
He played here.
Has he gone back to Scotland now?
I'm not sure if he's still in Queensland. He's working for a wine company either in New South Wales or Queensland. Played Black Falcons, I think, at one stage, against Western Force.
That was a fun day. Again, it's just breakdown is really, really scrappy still. Well, the big blind side for Barossa if they want it. They went open side last time. Gotch. This time they work, then they go open side again. Flat ball again. Big challenge in midfield. And there is Cooper. Right on cue. Darby to McCarthy. McCarthy will send it out. A little bit isolated. Connor Moore decides he wants to have a rumble. He'll do that all day for you, Connor. Darby again. Out to the left. McCarthy. Flat ball. He will get there. And he'll bring it around the post to try and make the kick easier.
I'll put it down now.
Yeah, he enjoyed it. McCarthy will thank him for it.
Oh,
there's a yellow card for, I think that's Damien Brooks. Can we see anything in the background?
Something that went on earlier.
Something went on in the background. So he will kick it, and that will be 21 points to 12.
A drop kick instead of waiting for the tee.
Yeah.
They know there's not that much time left.
Well, what are we? 12 minutes plus stoppages. Not put a huge amount of stoppages. And light is at a premium. I mean, the light is absolutely glorious on the hills, but it's at a premium. Can't see anything in the background, and he's long, long way away.
The assistant referee had a word there to the referee. I'm not sure what it was.
So, 11 minutes to go. Another try would make it interesting. It's a good leg from the manager. The weight of that.
Yeah, Paul Brown, he's club stalwart. He's been around here since before we moved to Lyndoch. Used to call him the haemophiliac because he bled every time he took the pitch.
Driven long again. Interesting that he's still going, but McCarthy manages to shake a couple and gets the offload away. No idea how that went forward. I think he just lost himself. Barossa still have to keep the pressure. There's a little bit of trepidation rising, Ryan, as they're starting to fall off tackles and not get to breakdowns as quick as they were.
Yeah, I think some of the boys out there look like they're getting a bit tired as well. But Barossa are certainly bringing a lot of pressure at the moment. So
I think he just let it kick out of his hands.
Yeah, I think it came off the knee of the other player there.
So it mustn't have been Damien Brooks because he's come back on. Who was it who got? I thought it was someone with headgear. I don't. No idea. We'll read about it in the paper. So scrum to Elizabeth. They've managed to shore it up a little bit, but as you said, the signs of fatigue are starting to come now. That's one way around it. Had a couple of bites at it. Little bit better midfield defence from Barossa. Rosemeyer. All a bit flat, so he shows and goes. Rosemeyer is unceremoniously dumped. Messy and slow again. Trying to find a way around the outside. Beats a couple. Brooks will tidy up.
Oh.
That one was okay. Looked ugly, but it was fine. Slow again. Hyam. Beats a couple. Something you know you're going to get from him is yardage.
He certainly never surrenders to the tackle, that's for sure.
Little chip over the top. Will be gathered. Again, there is some frank discussion going on off the ball. Either that or they're just having a rest.
I think there might be a man down.
Well, everyone's taking their time to get up over here, and a penalty to Barossa. Not sure what for. I was distracted by the pile of bodies just away to our left.
Just front rowers having a rest.
It did look like that, but the assistant over on
got a call
this
from the
side,
assistant
yeah,
here.
there's something happened. We went for a long time. Connor Moore and the big bald fella from Elizabeth,
Ando.
Andy Oliver, were involved. See whether anything comes of it. And now we've got a pitch invader.
That'd be right. That's a Mackay. Granddad Brad there.
Well done, Mum.
And Mum's expecting twins within the next
Jeez,
week or so.
She's going to have her hands full, isn't she?
Yeah. Well, Brad Mackay, you know, many people remember Brad Mackay. He's granddad, and he's really turned into granddad. So they're in safe hands there.
Well, McCarthy has had a wander over. Officials are deep in conversation. You can normally tell whether anybody's done anything wrong by how far away they put themselves from the referee. We're talking. Andy Oliver's still happy to be there or thereabouts. Where's Connor gone?
He's just there on his haunches.
Yeah, Connor's on his
head
haunches.
there.
He's trying to make himself as small as possible.
I feel like if it takes this long to make a decision, we should just keep
Yeah,
playing.
let's go
to be
back
honest.
over there to the penalty and get on with it.
Yeah. Because we are at this point as well in the year where as soon as that sun goes down, it's a bit chilly. I saw a couple of players stretching off, and you don't want anything to snap. So come back. It's not Connor Moore that he's got.
He's talking to Dan Crosby at the moment.
This is taking
He's
so
got-
long
he's-
that he
he's
almost
got the
has to
wrong
pull a
team, I think.
card.
Well, yeah, you would think that there's, and it's got to. I think it's a big decision as well, if I'm honest, for it to be this amount of time. And he has gone to Andy Oliver.
I think we might be.
It's just a talk. No, there is a
No,
card.
there's a card.
What colour? Yellow.
It's a lot of talk for a yellow card.
I think it's possibly come down.
That's good to see, though.
Same
Handshake before you
effect
leave the
on this
field.
game, though, because there's only 5 minutes left of normal time. so-
There'll be a little bit more after that. You would think. Whether it's enough for, they need 2 scores. So McCarthy will look to send them up the line. Go straight this time. Flag is up. And that for me is one of the most frustrating things. That's the first one he's not tried to banana it, and he's got the most distance. Don't complicate things.
He's not a natural 10. He's come over from Ireland as a winger, possible halfback, and really been thrown into the 10 position because there is nobody else. So not a natural kicker.
Welcome to South Australia rugby.
Yeah. So they've dropped the line again. This time they do get it right. Gotch off the top. Good straight run into midfield. Now they're away. McCarthy looks to try and edge around the outside. Does then, loops it over the top. Great hands will get it out to that far side. And the line out. And Barossa have managed to nick a couple. I mean, it's difficult to count because of the shirts, but they're not 2 down, are they?
Has the other player come back on yet?
He must have come back on, you would think, wouldn't you? Oh no, I can definitely see 2 Elizabeth heads down in the naughty chairs. So there's a 2-player advantage.
Who is the second one?
He's got headgear on.
There was only there was no 8 in the last scrum before Ando was sent off, so it's
2
definitely a
players
forward.
now, yeah. Penalty not rolling away.
Barossa pinched another Elizabeth line out, which is... change it up now and run the ball.
Another penalty. Not back 10, and they do have to go. They've got to score and get going again. Must convert one of them. McCarthy looks like he's going to, they call a scrum, which isn't a bad idea when they're down 2. They'll be down 2 in the forward pack. And they either push them over it, or they have to take a back out and put them in. It's a big decision for the Elizabethans.
To be honest, flankers and number 8s don't do that much anyway.
Controversial. That's probably the most controversial thing that's been said.
They just like to stand there and look pretty. I've never felt a number 8 push on my backside when I've been at second row.
Direct your complaints to Elizabeth Rugby Union Club.
I've made mention of it before.
Have an opinion, stick with it. I like it. McCarthy looked for the inside, then we'll go outside. Again, they're just going to come back, look for the support of safety.
It could be a penalty there.
Everson's done well and just come through the middle and just disrupted a little bit. Cooper. It's another couple of yards. Darby again to McCarthy. McCarthy puts the ball on the ground. Oh, it's got to work for him!
And Chappell,
Barossa will go over! It's not a terrible tactic, because the ball will bobble around and not do what you expect it to do, especially here. So there's 5 off the tally. Just got in each other's way, and that's not bad hands, that's good hands from Simon Chappell. And a good finish. Will he go the drop goal again, or is he going to take the tee?
He should rush it. He should hurry this up, because we're heading into red time, and
I think you should slow it down a bit more, Nigel. Just take your time, all the time in the world.
Be really, really sure.
4 points down and only 2. I guess a penalty would.
Well, they do need to score twice.
Account.
They certainly need the conversion. It's 21-17. Conversion would work for him. Sends it on its way. It's not going to come back. So 21-17. And we are in red time. It's not something that these two are going to want to watch again. They just got in each other's way, and then it just bounced off the back of his heel. Then it may be a suggestion of a knock-on.
Possibly.
But, so if you're Elizabeth, this just needs to go as far down into that right-hand corner as possible.
I think they'll be looking deep.
And give them the whole field, and it does run uphill to the right. Just got to push it as far away from your own try line as possible. Lapworth will have chance to bring it back. McCarthy really grown into the second half, inside ball.
Penalty.
Arm is out again. There it is. It's a lot of penalties. And was that?
I think that was off the ball, tackled off the ball.
I think you pinched one off us at the deaf here last year, so hopefully this is...
Yeah, was it last year or the year before?
I'm pretty sure it was last year. Hopefully this isn't going to go the same way.
McCarthy will push it to halfway. No, you've got to take off from inside the field.
Yeah, the ball's over the plane.
Yeah, you're quite a way off that one, but, good effort. So a line out directly in front of us. They've gone to a 3-man line out now.
Country.
Oh, and he's lost it again. Now Elizabeth just need to keep hold of the ball. Gotcha's got hands on. Loses out though. Mucky pass. McCarthy looks to make the tackle. Does. All about possession now for Elizabeth. Don't want to do anything silly. Brooks loses it. We'll give them another bite at it. Darby. Suggestion of offside, but there it goes, the arm. Remember, we can't end on a penalty. Darby. Derby will put the boot to ball. Now it's a foot race. How does it bounce? Who's going to get there first? Still going. Hands are on it. Inside the 5. Barossa support comes.
Oh,
Yes,
no.
Derby. Derby will get there.
Great chase from Jamie Derby.
It's a heartbreak again for the red, white and blue. And Derby, who's been quiet all game, right at the right moment comes to the party.
So good work, Jamie Walding chasing the kick. Alex Walding, sorry.
And it's just those horrible positions where you have to do it, and Derby will get there, and Derby will break the hearts. That's enough.
So we're going to close the borders to Queensland so he doesn't go home.
Yes. So 22 points to 21 with the kick to come, and we have no idea whether we're going to go again. I think we are, because certainly Barossa would have asked the
They're
question.
setting up.
Dave Gunning's looking at his watch there.
Yeah. Barossa certainly would have asked the question. Kick is not going to go, so we are 1 point the difference, and we're going to go again. So there is life in it, Ryan.
Oh, yeah. They taking nothing from Barossa, but I feel like the boys deserve a win here. So
Yeah, I think Elizabeth probably made one less mistake.
yeah, we'll see what happens here. Maybe they'll turn over this kick-off.
So this
It's
one,
gonna be a big
this
chase.
one you want to be contestable.
This will be nice and high, nice and short.
No, they've gone
not.
long again, and they've gone straight to Lapworth again. Jamie Derby will be asking about time at every single breakdown now. Tackle again. Brooks goes right over the top of it.
A penalty.
Not rolling away. So we'll get a big hint. It's got to tap it first, remember. There'll have to be a tap and then into touch. Can't end with a direct kick into touch. There's the tap.
That'll be it.
There's the touch.
Oh,
And Barossa win an absolute barnstormer in Lyndoch. Jamie Derby scores the winning try. Literally in the final seconds of the game. Ryan, it's a heartbreak for you.
Yeah, unfortunately we've been here before at this very ground about the same time last year.
Yep.
So it's, yeah, and it hurts just as much.
It does, but Nigel Cheese, you made hard work of it.
no, it certainly did. Both sides made so many mistakes the whole game. It was a scrappy game, but a good game. Or close game's always good. And congratulations to the boys. So after the last couple of years, we've struggled to come with wins, and to put 2 in a row. Well
Yep.
done to the boys.
Well, when two teams come into a game, both with a 100% record, one of them has to give. Ladies and gentlemen, as the sun sets on the absolutely stunning Barossa Valley, from everyone at Spacequake Sports and Rugby Union South Australia, thank you very much for joining us. Down at Onkaparinga next week for Onkaparinga versus Port. We will see you then.